No one can give you self-esteem, but plenty people can rob you of it. Hey guys, welcome and thanks for joining me this week. I'm super excited to welcome our guest this week. She is a self-esteem and self-love coach. She helps clients improve their perception of their own abilities and worth, paying the utmost respect to the feelings and needs of each individual. I would love to welcome Heather Vasey this week. Heather, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me.
For sure, for sure. So tell us a little bit about, I think your services and what you offer are highly needed in today's climate and have been over, the course of the pandemic, I'm sure, with everything everybody's been through. Tell us a little bit about what you do and how you help people and coach them.
Oh, sure. Thank you very much. I'm finding that in the pandemic, it's almost become a pandemic within a pandemic, with people dealing with feelings of poor mental health, depression, anxiety. So what I really want to do is help people to really sort of discover or rediscover their self-worth. I think people miss sometimes the importance of that, and how that then it affects every aspect of your life. It affects your job, your relationships, how you feel about yourself, your level of confidence. So if those things are kind of at a low place, it can create a lot of feelings of anxiety and depression. And I think it's really important now more than ever to really be focused on your overall health and well-being.
Yeah, for sure. So my daughters and I launched a nonprofit for women called theburningBra.org. And, the thing that we each offer or have a different leg of that piece of that nonprofit that are important to us, where we want to help women. And for me, it's really, I've worked in student housing. So I've worked with college age young women for, 20 something years now. And I noticed the lack of self-confidence. And as I've aged and gotten older, I think there's a wisdom that comes into being, a woman. When you start to age, you start to look back over your life and just time and things, and you realize like the things you place so much importance on were like not important at all. And, and
So
so
true.
yeah, it is. And so for me, just because of my career, in the age of the women that I've been around in my business, I spend a lot of time thinking, gosh, I would really be hell on wheels, for lack of better words, if I were your age and knew what I know now. So I love that you're teaching in that. And then I think there's something to be said too for people, like I exude a lot of confidence, or people think that I'm super confident, but, I just came into my own as an entrepreneur and launched my own business at 48. I'm getting ready to turn 51. And so you can be confident and you can have good self-esteem, but still feel that insecurity creep in when you're doing new things. And I think a lot of people, during the pandemic, change their lives changed in a variety of ways. But for some of us, I had already launched my business right before the pandemic hit and had a good year under my belt, thankfully, and survived that whole thing. But for a lot of people, they didn't, and they found themselves moving into new careers or spaces where it wasn't their tenure and their history of where they've been, and they're launching and doing new things, which allows for that imposter syndrome to kind of creep in and make you feel like, insecure in ways that maybe you hadn't in the past. Are you seeing a lot of that?
Yes, a lot of times what happens is we kind of just travel along the same path all along, and then suddenly something really major changes and it throws us completely off course. So it's being able to sort of navigate yourself back, even though you may have left your comfort zone, but sort of learning to be uncomfortably comfortable, and just kind of just get used to your new norm. And some people really struggle with that piece. It's not easy, especially if you've been doing something particular for a number of years, and then to make that on top of going through COVID scare, and then to make a big life transition, people's marriages ending, those kinds of things all play a role in how they're going to move about in the future.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So what are some of your best tips and tricks or like, advice that you give to people that are maybe trying to work through that? I come across a ton of young women who don't have that belief in themselves. And so you can tell people and you can pump them up and juice them up. But, what I've learned in my career and lifetime is that, it starts within, and that it really is an inner project and an inner working. And until it's kind of like you can't really love others, in my opinion, well, until you love yourself. And so it's kind of along those lines, right?
It's so very true. It's so important. People don't necessarily recognize the importance of self love, but it is really key to every other relationship that you have, whether it's a working relationship or a personal relationship. It really does begin within. So I really encourage people to practice a lot of self care, self compassion. And some people are not really big into this belief, but I know for myself that those I am statements are hugely powerful. When you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I am worthy, I am lovable, I can make mistakes and it's okay, and really start to focus on your strengths and start sort of losing that self doubt. Because at some
Yeah.
point in our lives, we always have self doubt, right? It could be just about a decision we've made or a job we've chosen or a partner we've chosen. It could be countless things, but it's being able to say, you know what? I'm okay. That does not define who I am. So that it's just about being able to make better decisions and healthier choices for your overall well being.
I love that tip because the pandemic was really hard on me personally, and I haven't shared about that a lot. I mean, I think when I was going through it, I did, and everybody that knows me knew it because it was just a very stressful time to be a new business owner, right? And I downloaded one of the things I did for myself, and it's probably been about a year ago, maybe a year, maybe a little longer, is I did find an app that sends me notifications and it says, I am enough, I am this. And just to help like planting those seeds throughout the day, it'll randomly pop up and send me a little message that's, just an encouraging word. And it does make me stop and think, okay, I am telling myself these good, healthy things. And so that was nourishment for my soul, I guess, to some degree, to feed it and to help it, kind of during through those rough waters, for sure.
I don't think people necessarily understand the impact that those negative voices can play in your life. And then when you start to really focus, flip that script and focus on the positive things that are going on and the things we talk to ourselves all day long subconsciously. And sometimes we're not even aware of how many times in the day we've said something negative to ourselves, like, oh, I'm so stupid. I'm not enough. I made a big mistake. It's so easy to get caught up in that cycle of negativity. So it's learning how to flip that script and really
Yeah.
start to focus on the I am good enough. I am worthy. I am capable. All of
Yeah.
those. And you think it's something little, but I kind of practice it like I do when you brush your teeth every day. So now it's the positive I am statements every
Yeah.
day.
I love that. My dad always tells me, he's told me this my whole life, but he's always said, out of every positive comes a negative. You just have to look for it. And, I've thought about that a lot in my life and just going through different things. And it's so true. And it's so easy to get down on yourself or to feed yourself that some negative self-talk comes so easily. And for some reason, it's not innate or natural for us to speak positive self-talk. And so I love hearing you say that because it's so important, and it is easy. It's easy for myself, like people. Didn't get to intro myself to you very much, but my husband and I sold our house in May a year ago in Georgia, outside of Atlanta. And we were going to take off on a, travel the US in an RV. Well, the RV situation hasn't been good. And so we've just been traveling and staying in Airbnbs and hotels for the last year and just kind of being on an adventure. It's interesting because there are days when I could look at, this traveling situation and I get down on it and I'm thinking, this is just, we're in a different place every 30 to 45 days. And I don't have my bed and I don't have this, that, and the other. And then I meet people every day doing this life and they're like, God, you're living my dream life. And I'm like, freeze
Really?
frame. Let me breathe. Yeah. And I'm like, I am getting to see new places. I'm getting to experience new things. I'm meeting new people. Like, this is not a bad situation, Monica, turn it around. And so I think it's all in how we frame things. And I think that goes back to what you're talking about, in when you're that self-talk, like, you've got to have those positive, uh, conversations with yourself so that you can have that more positive outlook and be more confident and feel better about yourself and what you're doing and the decisions that you're making, and knowing that you're human and we all make mistakes and that our mistakes don't define us, which is so critical.
Yeah, and one of the lines that I like to use with my clients is, your mistakes don't define you, they refine you. So it's like that.
Well,
If you think about a lump of coal and what it goes through, and then it becomes a beautiful sparkling diamond, and that's kind of the same thing with us. It's, some of those things that we go through are necessary for us to then become shining and to be able to sparkle.
I love that. I love that. I'm gonna borrow that because that's really a great saying, and it's so true. And it's funny. I've thought for a long time, which is weird, and it's Benjamin Button like, but like, if we could all age in reverse, right? Like, if we came out really, really old, and then every day we just got younger and better, but we would come out really smart. So
yes, with all that wisdom that we gained throughout the course of time, and then we can use that in our younger.
Yeah, because the way life works now is we're the piece of coal until the end, and we become this beautiful diamond by the time we're done in our body. And yes, we are. That's awesome. Wow. Well, what are some things like for people to get in touch with you? How is the best way for people to get in touch with you if they're interested in working with you? I saw that you do breath work. So what are some things that people can reach out to you and you can assist them with?
Well, the best way that they can reach me is through LinkedIn right now. I'm currently having a website being developed, so there'll be that. And then I'm also starting a membership site as well, so that people can hook up. I'm really wanting to start an I am movement. That's really important to me. So that's really sort of primary focus. So they can certainly send me a direct message on LinkedIn. And some of the things that I really help people is being able to shift their mindset to being something positive and thinking of abundance as opposed to lack, focusing on their passion, their purpose, kind of what drives them, and a lot of self-care and a lot of self-compassion. We're so good, like I said, at beating ourselves up, but we're not very good at doing that self-care thing. And that's going to look different for everybody. Some people think of bubble baths and a day at the spa, but it can be just something simple like going for a walk in nature, reading a favorite book, just carving out that little bit of time that's just for you, even if it's 15 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be, people think that they have to really plan this big self-care weekend, and it's not. It can just be an everyday thing. And it's amazing how you can just start to feel better. You look forward to that time, even if it's a few minutes.
Yeah, for sure. I know for me, it varies. Like, there are things that I need to do that just I can numb out. They don't require me to think a whole lot. They're just my time to kind of decompress because I'm always in a thought process mode, like forward thinking, creative, like minded. And so, yeah, for sure. Well, I would love to have you back on the show once you launch your, get your website launched and your other, did you say it was an app you were creating?
I'm working on that, as well as just a membership site, so that people can come on. And when you're talking about self-esteem and self-love, a lot of people find that just very personal. So a lot of times it requires just one-on-one coaching. But then once they get more comfortable talking about it, then they find strength and unity talking to other women as well, or other people. It doesn't have to just be women. And then it helps to kind of create a circle of encouragement. So I think having a membership site where then I can talk to more than one person at a time would be a great thing, and really be supportive for other people.
Yeah, I would love, as you launch that, to have you back on and, help broadcast that and share with others, because I am such a huge fan of, self-confidence and empowering others to believe in themselves and chase their dreams. And no, I really firmly am a believer you can accomplish anything. You just have to put your mind to it. It doesn't matter. It's all mindset.
It all starts up here, right? Everything that once was in here.
You're right. You're so right. Well, excellent. Well, thanks for listening, guys. If you have any questions for myself or for Heather, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments. And we will keep in touch with Heather to follow her journey and as her website and potential membership, site launches. And thanks so much for coming on the show, Heather. We really appreciate having you.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me to speak with you.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, thanks, guys. Tune in and we'll see you soon. Take care. Hey guys, if you like this episode, please hit like and subscribe.